We believe there's a huge gap in the markets where a lot of companies still lack of digital transformations, and especially when we are talking about the markets that we are serving, which is the non-banking financial institutions. Some lenders are actually still using Excels and spreadsheets. And there's a lot of manual works, paperwork, and we fix that.
So back to Arkmind, right? Where do you see it in the next 5 years? Hello, listeners. Non-banking financial institutions are financial service providers without a full banking license. They include pawn shops, credit cooperatives, peer-to-peer lending platforms, and financial companies. They are essential for widening access to finance for companies and individuals who are underserved and overlooked by traditional banks. So today's interview is with the founder of Arkmind, Johnny Tin, and we discuss how his company helps non-banking financial institutions. Johnny, welcome.
Hi, Bob. Thanks.
Fintech is a very interesting industry.
Right.
And also, when we were preparing for this, there were a lot of new terminologies I need to learn. So how do you get into this industry?
Well, first thing first, I was a software engineer in these few companies that deliver banking solutions. So therefore, that's the part where I'm familiar and get into this industry as a software developer. Previously, we deliver this kind of banking solutions. And then about 5 years ago, 2020, we jumped into this landscape, into fintech industry where we deliver these digital lending solutions.
The reason why you jumped in, was it that you saw an opportunity?
We believe there's a huge gap in the markets where a lot of companies still lack of digital transformations. And even if there's company who invested into it, they are not invested into a fully pictures of digital transformations, especially when we are talking about the markets that we are serving, which is the non-banking financial institutions.
So back to 5 years ago,
Right.
How do you come up with your first product?
As a software house previously, we built our products from scratch, co-developed with our clients that they are focused in hire purchase and also digital lending. And along the way from there, we have a completed products since 5 years ago, and now we are always enhancing the solutions with our experience in the industry and also some different requirements and needs from our different clients as well.
So Johnny, when it comes to the first product, what problems does it solve?
Just so you know, some lenders are actually still using Excels and spreadsheets, and there's a lot of manual works, paperwork, and we fix that. If you go to banks right now today to apply for loans, they might able to give back you a feedback within 5 to 10 minutes. But if you go to the underserved markets where they do not have any personal information and data, it takes days, even weeks sometimes. The same goes to the non-banking financial institutions where they are much more manual for their operations. So in that case, it takes more time. So what our solutions here is to help them to automate a lot of processes in operations, and also to implement AI technologies where we help our clients to do OCR by scanning through a lot of bank statements. So in the actual operations, the money lenders or the non-banking financial institution doesn't need to spend a lot of efforts to scan through all the statements. And in fact, it is really a big help in fraud detections. So just a quick sharing about a real case scenario, what our solutions helps to prevent just recent months during in SME loans applications. You know, SME, that's in bank statements, they have a lot of statements going on, and some of the frauds out there is trying to edit the finance amount, the transactions amount. So when it comes to manual operations, a lot of people will not scan through every transaction, so they might miss some of the figure. So with implementations of AI, it actually helps to detect it much easier and much accurate. So that's the problems that we are fixing in the markets right now. Not for banking, but for non-banking financial institutions, because they deserve the technologies as well.
So for Arkmind, right, what do you see is your role in the fintech industry?
We want to be the backbone of the digital transformations for these non-banking financial institutions. We believe a lot of them, they know they need to take these executions of digital transformations, but they don't know who to go. And there's always a wrong image from the solutions provider where they think software implementations is something very expensive, and it is always not buttons to flick overnight to be able to see the ROI. Therefore, Arkmind wants to be the service providers that can change their mind, where we can let them know digital transformation is not that difficult in a way.
Yes, Arkmind changes your mind. So,
Yeah.
so it's been 5 years now. Give us a picture of the company. How big is it? How many team members do you have?
We have around 20 employees in the team right now, and we are a very product-centric team where 99% of us is technicals. Technically, it's only me and another colleagues that is doing all the sales, marketing, and business executions. Yeah.
Yeah, coming from a technical background, you mentioned you're a software engineer.
Right.
What are the main challenges for you personally as an entrepreneur?
So coming from a very technical background, running this kind of business in the industry of software engineers, especially software house, I find it quite difficult to have talents acquisitions and also talent management, talents retentions as well. In the industry right now, there's around about 200,000 of software engineers coming out from universities every year. Therefore, the demands of the markets for software engineers is very high, still very high after COVID especially. And ease of software engineer jumping from company to company is actually very easy, right? So if they are not happy with you and you are not doing the right thing for your employees, talent acquisition and talent retention is actually quite tough right now.
Yeah, and what do you do to retain this talent?
I always tell my team that we are a very young team. We use the word flat hierarchy. Even we have about 5 management players in the team where we are also very young. So I believe the flat hierarchy really able to bring out different chemistry within the team, where we are always having our door opens to discuss with even the interns, the new interns, and also anyone that is interested in any topics that they wanted to raise in the company, they can directly raise it to me. So this is the part where I believe with this kind of hierarchy, it helps to make sure that our employees knows that they are important. We want to make them feel important in a way.
Yes, I think that helps. So when you meet a digital lending business, how do you differentiate yourselves as a company?
Yeah. So there's a lot of clients ask us these questions, right? So in Arkmind, we don't only sell software. We are a solutions provider in the industry that encourage all business owners, even in the non-banking financial institutions, to understand that digital transformations takes time. And we are here to help along the journey. And also in terms of our products, our service that we provide to our clients, we are designed in a way where we call it, in technical terms, modularized architectures. It is built for change. We wanted to help our clients to adapt change faster and without compromising a lot of restrictions of cost. So I believe this is what Arkmind wants to help in this industry.
Yes. Speaking about changing their minds, so finance is a traditionally very conservative industry.
Yeah.
So what challenges do you face when changing their minds?
The challenge of changing their mind is to let them know it takes time to see the ROI, and we need to do a lot of educations to let them know that in the journey of digital transformations, the results of getting better is something we call like the power of compound. It's a compounding effect where you will only see the results when you consistently improve and change and transform. So this is the part where we come into the pictures and we show them the roadmap. And of course, the solution and services we provide to them is from end to end in the loan lending cycles. So we will let them know from every steps of the cycles how digital transformation can change their business.
Right, thank you.
Hey everyone, producer Elton here. We share stories from business leaders in Asia, and if this video brought you any value, hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on the bell notification icon to get notified of our latest episodes. Thank you for your support. See you back in the video.
So back to Arkmind, right? Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
World dominations. Just kidding. But in fact, we really love to expand into regional, especially in Southeast Asia. We know that non-banking financial institutions in Malaysia, and not only Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, there's still a big gap to fill, where digital transformations is a very key topics around the world right now. I believe that with Arkmind's capabilities and experience now, we are able to expand our business regionally.
And into different sort of industries as well?
Yeah, this is part of the game plans where we believe embedded finance and also a lot of fintech companies that requires to integrate with different banking environments. What we are talking here is about open banking. There's a lot of API integrations, and this is where Arkmind solutions can be put into the puzzle. Yeah.
So speaking about world domination, how much is your market share right now and what is your target?
But honestly, we actually quite aggressive in this money lending industry. So there's actually about 4,000 licensed money lenders under KPKT, and we are talking about maybe 50% of them that are still inactive. Maybe another 50% of them are still having ambitious and aggressive mindsets to grow their business. So that takes about 1,000 of them, and we are only less than 20% of the market shares right now. And we believe the remaining numbers of them are still using spreadsheets. So the gap of the market is still huge.
So what is your target?
We would definitely want us to grab as much as we can. If I'm trying to be conservative, we will want us to have at least 50% of the market shares.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about big picture right now. So let's say for Arkmind, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, of course, after regional suspensions, right? Every software companies in Malaysia are going to tell you about IPO, M&A, right?
Yeah.
But honestly speaking, it's still not inside our roadmap. We wanted Arkmind to be able to cater into the banking industry because we are very close to digital banking technologies implementations. So we see ourselves able to tap into that market. In 10 years, we are still not planning to have any exit plans, to be very honest to you, if you are talking about that, of course.
All right. Thank you, Johnny. So for the digital lending businesses, what is your message to them out there?
I will just have a very short and simple message. We Arkmind is here to let you know that digital transformations is something that you need to do now. And it is not as tough as it is. We want to let you know that if you are running your lending business today, like it is 2005, we want to help you to leapfrog to do this business like it is 2025 or even 2030s. Because with our proven experience, we want to grow together with you. We want to be able to make sure that you are prepared to scale.
Thank you, Johnny. So we learned so much about the fintech industry here today, and especially how it impacts the digital lending business. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.